Dan, even though we are all so positive about Dom Smith, and as I just said, everything that he's overcome, how wary should we be of a regression from him, considering, like, for example, what we just saw from Pete Alonso in 2020?
I think you have to a little bit, Doug. I mean, I think that's perfectly fair. And I'm glad you brought up Alonso because let's be real. His last season did not necessarily go right along his rookie season performance. And the thing about Dom this year, guys, remember, he's not going to surprise anybody. Right now, everybody's going to know when he steps into the batter's box. This is a guy who raked last season. You showed that graphic that illustrated it perfectly. But I mean, to suggest that a guy who's really never had a full season in the big leagues is going to be able to put up a 1,000 OPS, hit 320 or whatnot, I just don't think that's fair. Not to say that he won't be good. And the other thing that I'm interested to see, I mean, you guys brought up the defense, and that's the obvious here. If he's not hitting, you know, what is that going to do to his position in left field right now? Because let's remember, the Mets have a glut of center fielders. They went out and addressed some depth. So if he's not producing, you know, they're going to look to just increase that outfield defense. You put one of those guys in center, whether it's Pilar, Almora, you could slide Nimmo over. I just wonder about that because Dom's value is not with the glove. It's with the bat. That's where he has to produce.
Sarah, what were some of the main factors for his improvement in 2020?
Well, the first thing that I looked at with him was just what he did against off-speed and breaking pitches in 2020. So if you go back over his career before 2020, those are really pitches that he had struggled with, basically anything other than a fastball. And I think this is where playing every day, which Anthony mentioned, really helped him. I think he got much more comfortable at the plate. And you can see, I mean, those are great numbers. And I do think that there is going to be some regression from 2020. I think that's going to happen for anybody who had really, really good rate stats in 2020. When you get a larger sample, it's just likely to come back down a little bit. But seeing something like this, learning how to hit different types of pitches, tells me that this is closer to the real Dom Smith than maybe what we saw in limited work from 2017, 18, and 19.
I think what we saw there and what we heard from Dom was very candid, and it was a great way to look at what he's trying to do. He's not a left fielder. He knows he didn't come up as a left fielder, but he's a professional athlete. They're telling him this is where we want you to play. He's saying, okay, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to make mistakes along the way, and that's okay, but I'm going to continue to get better. And as he does that, I think that allows him that comfortability that he's going to be able to go to the offensive side and continue to produce.